And good morning at 7:04 on this Wednesday, March 16th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. Wednesday morning welcome to you. Our program presented by Cedarstone Bank of Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Donaldson. And we've got Robert McDonald here this morning, all the way from Donaldson to talk about the bank. Good morning.
Coleman, good morning.
How was your trip?
Fine trip, wonderful.
It's always easy coming east in the morning because everybody else is going west.
That's right. I tell you, a little different this time, Coleman. In the months past, when I've been coming up here for the time change, I have a nice little sunrise to look at, but it was still pitch dark this morning. That was okay.
Well, we get Robert occasionally, and a lot of times we talk a little bit about what's happening in Donaldson, and you are active in the community there, just as someone is in Mount Juliet, and Bob, of course, your father, very active here, and others in the Lebanon community. But that's part of banking.
That's part of banking. That's the fun part of banking, as Bob likes to say. And the community involvement is, as you know, since 2004, when Cedarstone Bank opened up, the community is a very important aspect of what we do, and we love being a part of it, whether it's education, nonprofits. As you know, we're very involved, and we love this time of year, springtime, and weather starts to warm up. We're really involved with different things in each community in Donaldson, Mount Juliet, and Lebanon.
Well, is today the day we get the announcement from the Fed?
March 16th. I was reading some notes before I walked in. Today's the day, and so we are expecting a slight increase today. I think just a quarter basis point. As we talked about last time I was here, Coleman, we're expecting many throughout the year, but there could be some factors that are going on throughout the world right now that could dampen that a little bit. But today is the day, and we are expecting a slight increase.
Well, I'm just going to guess as I may strip. Well, I don't have anything to go, and I don't have all the banking information or keep up with it like you do. But just knowing some of the things that have happened very recently, I'm just suggesting they're going to. There's been a lot of talk about 0.5%, but I'm going to believe. I believe they're going to play it safe. I think they need to raise it a little bit, and 0.25% is about where
that's kind of what we're thinking. Now, the 0.5% was a few weeks ago what the thought process was, but reading different articles this morning, the consensus is more towards that 0.25%. But I tell you, Coleman, rates have been so low. As right now we're at 3.25 as far as that prime rate, so it's not going to impact the market too much or really be a damper on the growth that we've been experiencing.
Well, they feel like they need to do something, and we've put a lot more money into the economy, and when you have more dollars chasing goods and services, we have inflation.
That's right.
And, I mean, that's economics 101.
That's right.
And if we did what we did back about 1979 or 80, I'm sure you remember some of that. The interest rates were 18 or 20%, got that high, and it was not the best of times, but we survived.
We survived, and we survived even the early 2000s as well. But of course, Willie, who turns 90 by the way this month, March 27th, he's banking 70 years before he retired, and he talked about. He remembered those times very vividly, those 18-20% days, and we got through that, and so we'll manage this part of the economy as well.
Well, we always say you can get your loan at Cedarstone, and lending money is one of the ways, the main ways, really, that you make money, and especially with that free checking account where you don't charge anybody to have a checking account. In fact, even pay for the foreign ATMs, which we can talk about more. But you are in the lending business.
We are in the lending business.
Interest rates are still low, regardless of what happens today. And I guess you're lending for houses, you're lending for boats, you're lending for automobiles, and
all the above, Coleman. Even personal loans to help out with anything you may need. And as you know, having that relationship with us is a key factor. That checking account and coming and let us get to know you, but most importantly, you get to know us and be comfortable with us. But when it comes from housing, boats, autos, whatever you need, Cedarstone can manage that for you.
Well, honestly, when you kind of look at the whole picture here and you think about having a free checking account where you can get started, and especially if you're a young person, even in high school or just in college or just got out of college and you're wanting to start a banking relationship, and the first thing you see is $6 or $8 or $10 service charge just to have a checking account. Right. That when you can see that you get one free and all the amenities that go with that, as we say sometimes. Why go anywhere
Why
else?
go anywhere else? That's right, Coleman. And through the free checking platform, of course, as you mentioned, you can use a Cedarstone Bank debit card anywhere in the world and access your money for free. Our online platform is state of the art, the technology wise. You can folks that still deposit checks, you can take a picture of that check and deposit to your account right away. That's a free feature. A lot of times that's an add-on that you would have to pay for. But the account, there's no minimum balance requirement, and we pay for your first round of checks. The account is totally free. There's no hoops you have to jump through.
Well, that seems to have been a really popular number here, and Bob talks about new customers coming in all the time. Does it work well in Donaldson?
It does. It's a true, not, I wouldn't say selling point, but it means a lot to people that you can people work hard for the money, and to have that in the bank and know that we're not just going to discharge you for no reason, in our opinion, that means a lot, and we've grown a lot through that checking account, through that platform.
Well, Robert, I don't think I gave your title when we began, but you are Vice President and Relationship Manager and in charge of the Donaldson office, and we appreciate you making the trip up this morning. Good to see you as always.
Thank you, Coleman.
All right, and that is it for Cedarstone Bank. Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson, simple banking, simply better, and it takes us to 10 minutes after the hour, and I am going to the telephone, and I believe Mr. Mark Hinesley from the Mount Juliet Chamber of Commerce is on the phone to talk with us this morning. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine. You sound like $1 million.
Boy, I tell you what, I feel like about half that, but that's still not doing too bad. I apologize for not being there in person. I miss you, and MJ and Billy, good morning, everybody. I simply could not be in two places at one time, and I need to be in Mount Juliet at 7:30 sharp this morning.
Well, it is perfectly all right, but I will have to say, when I when I drove up and saw Robert's car there, I didn't realize it was his. I thought, well, Mark's got him a different vehicle today. Then I come in, Robert's in here, and I've been sitting looking at the clock, and where's Mark? He's always here when I get here. But I understand.
I couldn't break away this morning. I got started early, and anyway, I got all dressed up for the big show and can't make it. So, but I think I missed November of 2020. That was a doggone virus thing, and then I believe it was just last year in February. I couldn't even get out of my subdivision with the snow we had that day, so I had to call in. But darn it, and I was on track to catch up with Billy Mullinex. Now my streak's starting over again. How are you this morning?
Well, it's good to have you either way, and you are sounding fine, and we just want to find out what's on your mind today.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is a huge day, and it's kind of funny because last week in the staff meeting, every time something came up, it seemed like, yeah, that's going to be on Wednesday the 16th with everything else, and starting early, but as soon as I finish up sharing a few thoughts with you this morning, we are meeting with our management team and volunteers for, we haven't done this in, I don't know, it's probably been 25 years, but we have been working for months and months on a major membership engagement event, and it is going to be in April, and we have some professionals that are coming in from Texas to help us, and we are hosting them at a breakfast this morning to kick this next month off, culminating the week of April 18 to 21, when all hands on deck. So that's a big day. We'll take a little break for a few minutes, and then Mayor Hutto's going to join us today at the Marriott for a sold-out annual State of the County address. And I got to tell you, I mean, he does a great job anyway, but this is a pretty good county to give a State of the County address. There's probably 94 other ones I don't know if I'd want to, but this has got to be a pretty good deal for him. So, because it seems like we're clicking on all 8 cylinders right now. And then this afternoon, there's been a team of folks. I know Melanie's with the Chamber's really involved, Maggie Lee, Tracy Pope, and I'm sure there's others, but Wilson County is hosting Leadership Middle Tennessee this week, and they will be in town today, and I know they're coming by the Chamber office for a meeting. There's probably 30 or 40 of them, I guess, from Nashville and all over the surrounding Middle Tennessee area. Kind of get to showcase all the good things, and today I think it's transportation. I know they're going to the Lebanon airport to look at Vanderbilt's Wilson County Hospital's new fixed-wing aircraft out there. They're going to tour the Under Armour plant distribution facility in Mount Juliet, and then culminate with a dinner event and fellowship tonight at Town Social. So it's a busy day around here today, Coleman.
Well, you're right. It certainly is. And we have about busied ourselves into time for a break here. So if it's okay with you, we'll do our break right here, Mark.
Oh, I'll be waiting when you get back.
All right. You're listening to Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Bates Ford. They've got that regular oil change. It's $28.95 up to 5 quarts of oil, tax and disposal. 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. They just moved that wreck on 40 westbound at M Hill Pike overpass. That slowed down that traffic just a bit, trying to come in from this airport side of town, headed towards downtown on 40 westbound. Just to play it safe, give yourself extra time out here as traffic builds out of Wilson County down I-40 through Mount Juliet. Gatlinburg Wine Cellar, home of the world-famous cotton candy wine. Check them out at GatlinburgWineCellar.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Cumberland Phoenix outfielder Cole Turney is third in the nation in home runs with 12, and he and first baseman Nolan Macabrota are the last two Mid-South Conference Players of the Week award winners. The Phoenix themselves are sixth in the nation in home runs with 38. Come see these guys hit the ball next Saturday at 12 noon with a doubleheader with old rival Campbellsville, followed by a single game Sunday at 1. You can hear all the action on WANT-FM 98.9 or GoCumberlandAthletics.com.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. It's a Wednesday, and on this particular Wednesday, which is the third one, we feature Mark Hinesley with the Mount Juliet Chamber of Commerce, and he's with us by phone this morning, but we're going to pick up where we left off before the break. And, sir, what else is on your mind this morning?
Well, you know, since we spoke last month, lots of good things have happened, but before I forget, a personal friend and awesome guy, Scott Benson. I don't know if I have publicly shared our appreciation for everything that he's done with the school system. I want to thank him for everything, and certainly welcome Brian, but and wish Scott all the best in whatever he does. I think anybody in the chamber will tell you that if you don't have a terrific school system and your education's not right, chamber work and a lot of other things are exceptionally difficult. And Scott and the directors that have worked at Wilson County Schools and now Mr. Luttrell, they make our job a lot easier with a first-class school system along with the private schools for every student in all of Wilson County, whether it's a special school district or the county or whatever. So good luck, Scott. If you're up and around, retirement hasn't started yet, so you should be out of bed already. But and I'm excited for Brian. Fantastic young man, and they're lucky to have him. And good luck. A couple of things just happening in Mount Juliet right now. The bridge over I-40 is progressing pretty well. They're down nearly to Arby's working on sidewalks. I know that was going to be in April, then May. They can't be too much farther before they're done. Of course, when weather, can't run, some things you can't do in the rain. Mm-hmm. If it doesn't warm up, we're not going to have blacktop for potholes, so cross our fingers on the weather. But folks have talked about, on this program, probably Heritage Medical. I had a chance to drive by there yesterday. That's a massive building out on Pleasant Grove Road, close to Rocky Williams, across from the Lowe's development. Absolutely beautiful building, 3 or 4 stories of dark glass and great architecture. It's a wonderful addition to the community. Let's see. We had a developer purchase enough land, 3 lots here, residential, to build 23 homes on. It's the completion of the Oak Hall subdivision. Coleman, the National Business Journal said the company spent $3.17 million to purchase 3 lots to build 23 houses. Now, math was never my strong suit, but a simple calculator tells me that that's over $138,000 per lot just for the privilege of building on it. That's before anything starts. And those are probably going to be some pretty doggone nice houses. So glad to have that. We got development happen residential, just like Lebanon, Watertown, from one end of the county or one end of the city to the other. It's like people can't wait to get to Wilson County. So we had a nonprofit leadership council meeting, which we host monthly. It's great, folks, representation from all over Wilson County. They get together, the directors, and they have a little program, fellowship, share best practices, share calendars, resources, things like that. But last month, a young man named Anthony Tate, he is, I believe his office is just a couple of doors down from Mayor Bell's, but he's an employee of the city of Lebanon. And I think he probably has many talents, but one of them is grant writing.
Okay.
He came and did a presentation at our council meeting. It's been a couple of weeks ago now, I guess 2 weeks ago tomorrow, but he shared with all the other nonprofits tips on grant writing, as well as recognized, I think there were probably 8 or 9 nonprofits that received an award from him, recognizing the fine work that they're doing in Wilson County. So I want to personally thank Anthony for sharing his talents and time with us. Made a difference to a lot of folks, and now's, their nonprofits are kicking up. Anybody in the fundraising business, selling tickets, sponsorships, whatever. Yesterday on your program?
Well, I wouldn't say that a grant writer is necessarily worth his weight in gold, but some of them might be close.
He's pretty darn close. I'll tell you what. He's doing an exceptional job, and it's not all necessarily for the city of Mount Juliet or Lebanon, but he can secure grants for our nonprofit, and that makes a difference too. And we heard from Tracy and Ray Render from Congressman Rose's office on your program yesterday morning, talking about their big event, which is the Walk Across Wilson, and that's something that anybody can, and gosh, I'd almost say should get involved in. That's just a win-win-win-win-win. There's no losers in that one, and they're making it pretty darn easy, and they've put a lot of time into organizing this event, and it's one that just keeps getting better every year. So thanks to those guys, and I hope listeners will give some consideration about using that as the little jolt to get them going, so they'll put a team in or do it themselves or whatever. But everybody's heart's in the right place, and from what I understand.
Well, Mark, I want to inject something here, because ever since you told the story about driving across that, what do you call it? Anyway, you suggested instead of using asphalt for those things to slow you down, to fill up the potholes, and there has been a lot more attention directed. Now, I'm not going to say you caused all of it, but I think you probably got some people's attention that day on the radio.
Well, I understand. You want to control speed, and there's certain things you can use certain places, but I don't know. I'm not a particularly big fan of the ones that actually force your car to bottom out and send your coffee flying in every direction. But you got to mitigate the speeders. But maybe a quadruple on the fine through a residential neighborhood would get their attention just as well. So, and I understand the potholes. I heard them. I believe it was at the Senate report last Friday morning on your show. Senator Pody was talking about they're putting some teeth into where you can actually go back and file things with TDOT and hopefully get some assistance from TDOT on some of these. Sounds like they're going for about the price of a 2-bedroom apartment. I don't know, big enough to live in. So, and it's dangerous on the interstate when your car's going 70, 80 miles an hour. So, but they'll get there. They'll get there.
Yeah, we get a little warmer.
You got to wait on the asphalt.
Yep.
Go out there and put gravel in it.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. So I trust our officials to do the right thing, and I don't imagine any of them are sitting there going, well, let's just make them wait a little bit longer. So they'll get to it.
I don't think so, but I think when you call attention to a problem, sometimes it does help the solution.
You know, Mount Juliet, I agree with you, and I think Mount Juliet, and I forget the name of it, it's something like Notice and Click or something, but there's an app now where if inside the city limits of Mount Juliet, Public Works, if you see anything, you know, a limb in the road, a pothole, a sign crooked, a light out, you take a picture of it with your cell phone, and well, you have to pull over, put the car in park, and get out of the car. You can't do the picture while you're in the car. Let's make that real clear. But no, you take a picture of whatever you see and send it to City Hall, put it on the website. They direct it to the correct department so that they know to go out and fix it. Because, you know, 150 city employees, if everybody, they can't cover all of Mount Juliet every single day. So I don't know that much about it yet. Justin Beasley was telling us last Friday at our community development meeting. And if that works the way it's supposed to, or is working the way they said it would, holy cow, that could be awesome. I mean, I wouldn't want to be the person sitting there answering the phone or doling all that out, but I imagine there'll be a little bit of a curve, probably be a bunch of stuff at first and then should even out, but that's using technology. That's not going to cost anybody anything, and we can get out there and get on it quicker. Because, you know, Kenny Martin, he's fond of using the broken window analogy, that you get out there and fix the window real quick, you're not as likely to have a second window. If you let things go, broken windows, graffiti, people see it, don't think they care. Next thing you know, you got 2 broken windows and 4 broken windows, and someday you look around and go, how did everything get to looking like this? So I applaud him for doing that, and I'm excited to help him spread the word.
I love Kenny Martin stories. I've heard a lot of them.
Got a bunch of them. I tell you, I once in a while I want to do a little fact check on it, and I do. And doggone if he's not telling the truth again. I don't know, but there's a man that's glass is 3/4 full, isn't it?
Yeah, you bet. Yeah.
And he's working so well with Justin. Justin is just a joy to work around. Very enthusiastic. He might not believe it, but I had that much energy when I was a youngster at his age too. But he's everywhere, and he has literally fallen in love with Mount Juliet, and we're lucky to have him.
Well, I enjoy having him here. Where I'll be honest, I miss Kenny a little bit, but during the break, sometimes I don't know much about television other than what I see on the screen. So he's told me a little bit about some of the personalities that he's worked with, and some of the things that you don't see just there in your living room, and that's been nice.
You know, he's not a tall lad, so I don't know if he ever played basketball or not, but if he was a sports reporter, this is a pretty good time to be a college basketball fan. This is my favorite time of the year for sports, and I actually was in the state of Kentucky over the weekend, and when Tennessee beat Kentucky for the SEC championship.
Yeah.
And I would imagine they're not too happy with Tennessee right now, but congratulations. And I hung in there till 11:15 last night to watch Indiana. They had a play-in game. They finally got back to the NCAA, and they beat Wyoming by 8 or 9 points last night. So we're officially in now. We play St. Mary's on Thursday.
So look out, Indiana. Look out, Hoosiers.
Go Big Red. That's it. So
well, since you're talking about basketball, we got to inject here. Lebanon is playing the state tournament tonight. I think it's maybe 5:45 or 6 or something like that. And we're hoping they're going to win their first game over there.
You know, I think that didn't the Lebanon girls, they were a powerhouse and went pretty deep if they didn't win it all here recently, didn't they?
Yeah, it was last year. They finished second last year.
I remember moving here in 1988 from Indiana. I tell folks I was born up north. I got here as quick as I could. But when I first moved here, it was in the spring, and there were already articles on the sports page back in the paper, back in those days with the paper, and talking about ninth graders, high school, thinking about going to college. And I'm looking through there going, where's the basketball stuff at? And it was pretty hard to find. I mean, up in Indiana, season tickets at the high school, those got handed down to family members. I mean, it was just,
wow.
But football, all that really meant up there for us was basketball season's right around the corner. So very different, but still bleed IU red. And I put up with all the jokes, been made fun of a lot, but maybe this is our year. Who knows? So,
well, at least you won the first one.
Yep, 40, 53, 76, 81, and 87, and I remember 3 of them. But we're back again, and I'm excited about it. But we got lots of good stuff going on. Put a bug in anybody's ear that's thinking, Mount Juliet might not be a bad place for me to do a little business. We got something for you coming up in April with our membership event, and might be a good time. Might be a good time to look into an engagement with the Mount Juliet Chamber of Commerce. We're here to serve all of Wilson County, and we're better off if all of us do great. So,
all right. Thanks for being with us today. We appreciate it. We are out of time, but we'll see you next month.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Great. Mark Hinesley, and that is part 1 of Coleman and Company. Keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Bates Ford, and they've got the Works Vehicle Checkup. They'll make sure your vehicle is ready for any road. It's $49.95 up to 5 quarts oil, tax and disposal, tire rotation, safety check too. 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Just to play it safe, give yourself a little bit of extra travel time. Now here as traffic volume increases even more coming out of Mount Juliet on I-40, all that traffic headed towards Nashville. They were moving a stalled vehicle on 24 eastbound near Briley Parkway a few minutes ago. Starting to slow down a bit. 65 southbound at Trinity Lane. PensacolaBeach.com's got everything you need to book your next getaway. It's really easy. Just log on to PensacolaBeach.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
This is Bob McDonald with Cedarstone Bank. For 17 years now, we've been serving our communities in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Donaldson. We can serve you in the way that best fits your needs. We have all the banking technology, we have beautiful buildings, but more importantly, we have great people. On behalf of our board of directors, I thank you for banking with us. If you don't currently bank with us, please come by and visit us in any of our locations. It would be our pleasure to talk with you about how simple banking is simply better.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The shopping event that's sure to be a cure for spring fever. The Mill at Springtime, Friday, March 18th and Saturday, March 19th. Get a jump on spring shopping at the historic Mill, Lebanon, with some of the most in-demand vendors, food trucks, artisans, and boutiques. Friday, line dancing from 5 to 7 p.m. Saturday, get up and move from 11 to 3. And Kids Corner, the Mill at Springtime, Friday, March 18th and Saturday, March 19th. Facebook, Happenings at the Mill.
Today's forecast calls for a mix of sunny clouds with just a slight chance of rain. Highs today will top out in the upper 60s. On Thursday, skies will be mostly sunny with temperatures in the mid-70s. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's Look at Your Forecast. I'm meteorologist T.J. Scott.
And we continue on this Wednesday. Coleman and Company on a Wednesday morning. And Wednesdays at this time, we entertain. We talk to Philip Evelyn, who is sometimes entertaining. Good morning, Philip.
Good morning. How are you?
With, of course, Absolute Rental and Supply. I'm doing fine, by the way. Absolute Rental and Supply, 1325 West Main in Lebanon. Just about anything you want to rent is there, and you can go to absoluterental.com and see the inventory, and then call 615-443-RENT and take care of your needs. And that's what we talk about each Wednesday, among other things here. It is a little bit rainy, but at least it's warmer, Philip.
Yeah, it really is. I was surprised. I didn't realize it was going to rain overnight. I was kind of walked out this morning and saw all that. I was like a little surprised. But there again, it's Wednesday morning. It's time for me to come to the radio station, so most of the time it does rain.
Well, I don't think we've had a lot, and the temperature is going to be fairly warm here the rest of the week. I think it's looking we're getting ready for spring to arrive, and it's looking a little more spring.
It really is.
Yeah.
We're excited. Spring's a good busy time for us. You know, there's a lot of times people kind of get into their spring cleanup type mode and around their house. They do their landscaping, they freshen up everything, and of course we have a lot of landscaping tools, equipment, and then also supplies like your mulches, pine straws, and stuff like that. So that part of our business has already started picking up pretty significantly.
Good. Well, of course, you started renting 20 and a half years ago. Almost, it will be 21 in June.
Correct.
And it's been a good move for you. You made a right step at that time, didn't you?
Well, I've been very pleased. You know, I work a lot of hours and I'm tired a lot, but anyway, I enjoy it very much. So it's one of those deals. You kind of look to find what your passion is, and I've really enjoyed this.
But you are serving people. I mean, I think it's making a good living for you, and I've complimented you many times. I think you are an excellent businessman.
I don't know about that.
I really do. You employ some people, so it's their livelihood, but you help the community with these items to rent that you normally wouldn't go out and buy, and you have a need for, and you have supplied that need for 20 and a half years.
Yeah. Well, we've been very blessed. The Lord's blessed us very well. So, but anyway, it's been, like I say, it's I've enjoyed it very much. And you know, like I say, we are a service. I look at it as more of a service business. We're trying to take care of a customer's needs. We're trying to get it to them in a timely manner, and we're trying to make sure they're doing it in the most efficient way that you can. That way it takes care of our equipment and they get the job done better.
And you have an enormous amount of equipment, as we say, everything, you said it, everything from wallpaper steamers to bulldozers, but just about that and everything in between. And it takes a lot of planning and taking care of, and you want to make sure that anything somebody rents there is going to work right. So you have to keep it maintained.
Yeah, we really do. I place a lot of emphasis on that ready to rent status. You know, we want to make sure it's working properly. The customer's not going to have any problem with it, and it's going to be able to get the job done.
Well, 443-RENT is that number to remember, and you'll probably be asked a few questions. Want to make sure you know you got the right piece of equipment, first of all, and then that you know how to operate it, and then do you want us to deliver it, or are you going to pick it up?
Exactly, yeah. Like I said, there's a lot of questions to be asked, but it's all in good nature to try to make sure everything's done right.
Well, you seeking employees right now?
Yeah, we are. We're always looking for good people to come in. You know, a CDL driver would be wonderful right now. You know, we've counter help possibly, yard help possibly. So we would love to have anybody looking for a job. And you know, the rental business is really interesting. And one of the reasons I love it is it's something different every day. You're not doing the same thing every day.
Yeah.
And so, like I say, if anybody's looking for a job, please come by and see us.
Well, any day where it's not pouring down rain is probably a day from now on. Excavation equipment, that sort of stuff is going to be in demand.
Yeah, the dirt moving equipment is it's kind of getting dry. I know we've had some wet deals, and there's wet areas that are still wet, but if you're you know, got any kind of slope at all, it's with the sun and the wind we've had, it's really dried it out fairly quick.
And again, a nominal charge for delivery, but for so many people, especially contractors, that really works well.
It really does. It's a good fit.
All right. Well, anything else?
No, you know, like I said, back to the spring kind of cleanup mode, our pressure washers, concrete sealers and stuff like that, our aerial equipment if you need to get up and get into trees and so forth. You know, we've got a lot of that type of equipment as well.
Well, just go to absoluterental.com, and everybody just about anymore is internet savvy. You can do that. You see the whole inventory right there. And you see what it costs to rent it, and then you call 615-443-RENT and make a reservation, and hopefully don't do it. Don't ask for it today. It's probably being used.
Yeah.
But if you can work it out, you will.
Oh, yeah. We normally, if people give us 2 to 3 days kind of notice, we can normally get it worked out where we can have what they need when they need it.
All right. Well, have a great week. We'll see you next Wednesday.
All right. Thank you.
That's Philip Adley, and that's it for Absolute Rental and Supply, 1325 West Main. Again, the phone number is 615-443-RENT, R-E-N-T. 21 before the hour, Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell joins us, his usual visit. Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning, Coleman.
Now, I think, first of all, this morning, we ought to talk our basketball game tonight.
Absolutely.
And by the way, you were going to mention that the last time you were here, and I kind of cut you off. But I did say the next day that you didn't get to say that, but I was going to say it for you. And that was 2 weeks ago. They're still winning.
Well, I heard you say that, and so the last time I was here, I was on a wish them good luck in their sub-state game, and they won. Yeah. And there was a big crowd there that night. It was a packed house, standing room only, and so tonight they start the process of playing in the state tournament. They open up against Clarksville this afternoon, and they're 3 wins away from the state title. So this is the first time Lebanon's been to the state tournament since 2001, I believe, for the guys. And so we hope there's a big crowd there tonight to cheer them on. And Coach Jim McDowell, he's done a great job this year. He's got some great players, and they've really had a great season. So
they really have. And last year, Coach Corey Barrett's time, and they made it to the finals.
They
did finish second. But honestly, I believe if they'd have played the year before, they only got. Did they play the quarterfinals?
They got to the Final Four. Yeah, they played one game. Yeah,
and would have had a good chance to win it all. But they did do really great last year, and hopefully the boys can do equally as well or win it all. That'd be wonderful.
Yeah, that's the thing. Zach Martin is the athletic director over at Lebanon, and he and I grew up together, and it looks like that things are going well in the athletic department now. The girls team went to the state finals last year, and the football team had the best season in their history, and now the boys basketball team is going to the state tournament, so they're all doing a great job over there.
Yeah, and Brian Hutto was on yesterday, and he said he was athletic director, I believe, at the high school, and actually hired Jim McDowell.
Did he? Well, so he's taking credit for that, right?
Well, I don't blame him. I would too.
That's it. You're right about that. But
did you have a meeting last night?
We did. But before we talk about that, though, I was listening. I was in the lobby listening to Mark talk, and he mentioned Anthony Tate, our grant writer, and I really appreciate him talking about Anthony because. He does a great job. It's true. Anthony's office is right across the hall from mine, so we keep an eye on each other. But Anthony has brought millions of dollars into the city through grants, and he's done a fantastic job. And not only that, he does help nonprofits, with their grant writing as well. So he's somebody that's very valuable to the city of Lebanon, but also to the greater community too, because he really knows what he's doing. He's always looking for new grants. I like that. He's always looking for new money. And so Anthony does a great job, and I appreciate Mark mentioning him this morning.
Well, I tell you what, I've found out for sure. Mark Hodgsley has his ear to the ground when it comes to Mount Juliet and Wilson County. He knows everything.
Yeah, absolutely, he does. And he's always happy about it too. He's always got a good view on things, and I know he does great work in Mount Juliet, and of course Melanie, she does great work, here and throughout the entire county. But Anthony, I appreciate him being mentioned because he does great. In fact, one of the things that was on the agenda last night was a grant for the Jimmy Floyd Center. It was an AERP grant to build some pickleball courts. So the council voted on that, approved it, and that's something that came through Anthony as well. So
what kind of
pickleball? And that's sort of a new sport, and don't make me describe it because I can't. But it's sort of like a sort of a small tennis court kind of thing. It's I was over at the Jimmy Floyd Center the other day. Alex Major, our new director, coming up, he was talking about it, and he said really for a lot of people it's replacing racquetball.
Okay.
People play racquetball now. They're kind of going to pickleball. So it's a new sport. People of all ages play it, and we think it's going to be a great addition to the Floyd Center.
Well, if it's as much fun as cornhole, it'll be all right.
Well, since you are the cornhole king, but you need to branch out some, Coleman. You need to play pickleball too.
All right, I'll give it a try.
Okay. So there were several things on the agenda last night. One of which that's important for voters out there, and also for some city officials, is that it was on the agenda to place the November election on the ballot coming up. That's something we have to do as a city. In November, wards 3, 4, and 6. That's Camille Burdine and Chris Crowell and Jenny Brinkman. Their elections are this year, and also on the ballot is going to be the Cartmel Scholarship, which is something that's been around here for a long time, but we as a city, we have to officially place that on the ballot. So we did that, and I know there's a lot of elections going on right now. The signs are popping up. but those are county elections.
Right.
These are city elections, and they will not happen until November. So this will be another phase later in the year.
Campaigning will be in earnest in October and maybe late September.
That's when it'll happen.
Yeah.
So that's an important thing we did last night.
You want to got anything else? We got about a minute before we go to a break here, or we can go ahead.
Yeah, let's go ahead to break.
All right, okay. MJ's ready, I'm sure. Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell is my guest, and we'll talk more in a moment here on Coleman and Company FM 98.9.
All right, let's see what's happening on the roadways. It's all brought to you by Absolute Kubota Red Max. Complete inventory, weed eaters, blowers, hedge trimmers for the commercial user and homeowner with up to a 4-year warranty. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Just to play it safe, give yourself plenty of extra travel time out here as traffic volume builds pretty good on 24, especially coming up through the Hickory Hollow area out of Rutherford County. They were moving a stalled vehicle 24 eastbound before Briley Parkway. It was starting to slow down on 40 east at 440 on a possible accident. Now it was already busy from a wreck on 440 eastbound near Charlotte Pike. PensacolaBeach.com has everything you need to book your next getaway. Log on to PensacolaBeach.com. I'm Commander Chuck, you're on time traffic.
What is your passion? How can you use that passion to enrich your community? Hi, this is Melanie Minter, President and CEO of the Lebanon-Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. Your chamber is the resource for making connections to fulfill your passion. Whether education, nonprofit, agriculture, entertainment, or government relations, Wilson County offers a place for you to be involved. Your chamber connects businesses, individuals, and your passion to the community. We have an enthusiasm for excellence. Join us and catch the spirit. Call or visit our office at 149 Public Square in Lebanon.
This is Philip Etherly with Absolute Rental and Supply. Whether it's cleaning, painting, remodeling, or simply getting better organized, we have the tools and equipment to get the job done. Scaffolding, paint sprayers, ladders, power saws, portable heaters, temporary lighting, generators, hardwood floor staplers, from wallpaper steamers to bulldozers, Absolute Rental has what you need. Call 615-443-RENT. Absolute Rental and Supply. We have what you need.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. Mayor Rick Bell is with us. He comes here twice a month after each city council meeting, and we certainly appreciate that. It's always good to see you, and being mayor is a busy job. I mean, you if you do your job right, you're on top of what's going on. So many things to keep up with, but there's you're pretty much required to go do a lot of things. You have some busy days, and today's one of them.
It is busy. You know, I'm hardly ever actually in my office. You know, I'm in City Hall, I'm in other city buildings, but I'm hardly in my office because I'm in meetings and, you know, talking to department heads and out, you know, doing stuff like that. But there are other aspects of the job that are busy as well, but they're fun. You know, today, after I leave here, I'm going to head to Nashville. Every month we have a mayor's caucus meeting in Nashville, you know, where the mayors all throughout Middle Tennessee get together and make some decisions on a more regional basis. So that's going to happen. And then this afternoon, Leadership Middle Tennessee is coming to town. And Leadership Middle Tennessee is an organization every year. It's like Leadership Wilson, except it's on a Middle Tennessee basis where every month the class goes to a different county. And today they're coming to Wilson County, and so I'm speaking to them a couple of times. In fact, tonight you're interviewing me and the mayors of Watertown and Mount Juliet as well.
Right.
Yeah, and so to talk about how we work together, and so
hopefully no surprises.
I don't think that. Hopefully not. So those are things that you know we do as well. So you know, being out there in the community though, that's something I really like. And yesterday, as a matter of fact, Bobby Farmer, she called me several weeks ago about the cemetery where her family's graves are. And a few weeks ago, there was some water that got onto them, and so she wanted to show me that because we didn't realize that part of the cemetery that would happen. So I went out yesterday afternoon, and she and I picked her up at her house, and we drove out there and looked at it, and you know, and we've been working on the cemeteries really hard. You know, we've had some issues with some water standing out there. There's another section of Cedar Grove where crews are working, you know, over the past several weeks about some better drainage for those areas. So,
and even prior to that, with the tornado.
That's right. You know, the tornadoes came through there, took down a lot of trees, took down some of the taller monuments, and so over the past, you know, several months, we've had our company go out there and clean all that up and straighten them up. And in fact, the arch that was over one of the gates got knocked down during the tornado, and Stratton Bone actually picked it up, took it out to his house, and repaired it.
Oh.
And so this week,
well, how nice.
Yeah. So this week we're putting the arch back up, and Friday he and I are going out there to look at it to make sure that it, it's done to everybody's satisfaction. But we've been working hard on those cemeteries. We really have, and we'll continue to do that as we go forward. And then hopefully here in a few weeks we'll have a time for people to gather out there and kind of look and see what we've done when it gets prettier. So, that's been a big part of this past year, and honestly, it's something I didn't expect. When I became mayor, I knew the cemetery was important, but I didn't realize the damage had been done. Mm-hmm. So being able to get those things fixed has really been important.
Well, as to last night's meeting, we've not talked much about that, but you did meet, and anytime you meet, there's a little Lebanon business to
there is, and I just mentioned the election, but a couple of things that happened. The Lebanon Airport Commission reappointed 2 people to that. Joey Carmack, who's on the council, he's one of the council representatives along with Fred Burton. I reappointed him, and then Greg Hematoller, who I appointed a few years ago or last year to fulfill someone else's term. His term is actually up, so he was able to be reappointed, and he actually lives in the neighborhood right next to the airport, so he represents them when decisions are made. So I appreciate Joey and Greg agreeing to do that. But there's a few other things over around Oakdale Drive. There's some flooding issues over there. And recently we've had an engineering firm look at what can be done there. And one of the things they identified is that there's one culvert that could be enlarged and allow water to flow through better. So last night the council voted to start the design of that culvert and start the process of getting that fixed to make it bigger so water can get through there. And as part of that too, there are channel improvements. There's a creek that runs through there. So we'll be able to go through that channel and do some work there to make the water flow better as well. So that's a neighborhood that's been around for a long time, and they faced these issues for a long time. And so hopefully going forward we can mitigate that water.
Well, that's close to my house, and when it rains a great big rain, all these ditches fill and go to the lowest area. Yeah, it gets gets out of hand.
It hits it. So this work is going to be done to mitigate that. And one of the things I've noticed, as we look at the maps of some of these older neighborhoods, the creeks go through them, and so in the old days when they developed them, they sort of made the creeks go like streets, and when you make a turn, it's like a right angle, and water doesn't run like that, So there's these are some things that were done years ago that we've inherited, but still that's part of who we are, and that's part of things that we deal with, and so that's what we're working on going forward in the future. Also, we passed some agreements last night with the railroad, R.J. Coleman and the Nashville Eastern, to improve some railroad crossings, specifically at Maple Hill Road and Cairo Bend. Those crossings, they'll be smoothed out, but the roads will be widened some as well. So that allows that work to be done because the railroad crossings are controlled by them. Not us. And so we have to.
You said Cairo Bend. What was the other one?
And Maple Hill.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah, Maple Hill. So since those are their crossings, we have to work with them to make sure those get fixed. Mm-hmm. And that happened last night too. And then also, I presented a resolution last night to declare April the Safe Digging Month. And that's something that happens every year. And so, if you're out there digging in your yard and your property, it really is to make sure people know where the gas lines are, and are able to, to find out, call 811 to find out if there's gas lines before you start digging. So we always like to promote that, to make sure that people are safe out there, especially this time of year, going into the spring and summer, and people really start doing some outside work to make sure that, we don't hit a gas line.
Well, it's better to be safe than to be sorry, and it doesn't take long to do this, and you can delay. Usually, you can delay your digging long enough to know for exactly they actually come and paint where it is underground, right?
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So yeah, before you dig, somebody come out there and and help you out and show you where things are. So those were some things happened last night. Last night also we had several citizens come out to speak. There was a second reading for rezoning on the agenda out on Central Pike, kind of right off 840 for industrial development out there. It passed first reading a couple weeks ago, and it passed again last night. The city council approved that. But the reason I say that is because we want people to come out to the city council and speak. If you have any questions, concerns, any ideas, any issues, please come talk to us. If there's anything going on that that you think we should know, please come to council and tell us about it.
Well, as far as this particular one last night, were the people more opposed to it, or just maybe wanting more restrictions? Or
no, they were opposed to it. These people live really in the county, out Central Pike, and there's already a lot of industrial out there, and they really felt like that this was getting closer and closer, and it's really spreading. Is how they felt. But it's a development that the city council felt like that it was something that would be good for Lebanon, so they approved it. But and when we have rezonings and annexations, things like that, obviously that affects people, and we want them to come speak to us. And one of the things that I explain is this: is when somebody applies for an annexation or rezoning, they have the right to do that.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean we're for it, but they do have the right to be heard and be put on the agenda. Because a lot of times, when people come to council, they think, well, we put it on the agenda. Well, we didn't. The person requesting the rezoning did. And the council's not always for it. And I'm not always for it. But we have to hear it anyway. In this instance, the council was for it. These buildings, they talked about the amount of jobs they're going to bring in and those types of things. So, it does provide that benefit. But again, I understand the people who live there. It is a change. But that was approved last night.
And the older you get, the harder it is to change.
Well, as I get older, I understand that. When I was a kid, people always told me the older you get, the faster time flies. Yeah. And I didn't understand that, but I do now. And but I also understand that it is hard to see change, and and that's the thing that's my job and the council's jobs too, is to make sure that Lebanon stays the Lebanon that we've always known. I grew up here just like you did, and I don't want Lebanon to change either. We're going to grow. We're going to grow.
Well, some change is inevitable.
Yeah,
I mean, it just is.
That's just the way things happen. But we're going to grow. We're going to change. But our job is to make sure that the growth is good for everybody. That that it doesn't change us completely, because we need to make sure we hold on to who we are.
I have. You got some more?
A little bit, but go ahead.
Well, now we'll save this for last. I want to hear you first.
Well, that's pretty much for the agenda. One of the things I did want to just announce is that this Friday we're having our spring fling. The Lebanon History Museum is announcing is hosting that. It's Don Fox Park. This Friday from 10:30 to 2:30, we're going to hand out 900 free tree saplings. We do that every year. But this year we're going to do a little different. We're going to have food trucks there. We're going to have music by Tick Bryan. And we're going to make an event out of it.
The Singing Councilman.
The Singing Councilman. and we're going to have some seminars about trees and water and things like that. So so I invite everybody to come out to Don Fox Park, get some tree saplings, and hang around and enjoy things.
You did say they're free?
They're free.
Free. All right.
And so, again, that's something to do every year, but we've noticed that, people line up, they get their saplings, and they go home and plant their trees, I guess. But we want people to hang around, have a good time. So this time we're going to have a 2-hour event. Come by anytime you want, have some food, listen to some music, and learn some things.
Well, I'm not exactly a tree hugger, but I love trees, and it's good to see people interested in planting them, and of course they're going to provide a little oxygen for us,
Oh, absolutely. And, in the Noon Rotary Club, actually, twice they have come out and planted trees for us. They planted some at the Lebanon train station last year, And this year they planted some over by the dog park. So, that's an organization that agrees with you. I like trees too. So, yeah.
Well, I'm just wondering, are you, I just noticed, I think this was in the nation's Congress, a bill passed by the Senate or House about daylight savings.
I saw that.
And
I was stunned that they did that.
I did too. And especially after what Representative Lynn said even here Monday, that what it's going to do to East Tennessee if I really don't want to change it. I think we're okay like we are. It's okay with me to change it.
Well, there's tons of opinions about that, and it seems like, every time the clock changes, you hear people either say they like it or they don't like it. But
most people probably say, but I just don't like to think about getting up in the middle of the night almost to come out here and start radio.
Well, I understand because you're here early and almost early. You get here about 2 minutes before the show starts. But every year this comes up and somebody puts on there and it stays in the committee and dies, and you think, well, okay, they're just doing that. And this time it actually passed. So now it goes to the House. So we'll see what they do. But it's something that we've always done, and I don't really have an opinion either way. But it seems like suddenly they're going to change it. So we'll see how that goes.
I think it ain't broke. Let's don't fix it. But that's just my opinion.
Well, I agree with that too.
Thanks for being with us today, as always. We'll see you next time. Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell, and that's it for a Wednesday. Hope you'll join us tomorrow. And until then, I wish you a wonderful day.